Hello, everyone. This is Watch All You Can Movie Recaps. Today, I am going to show you an action and suspense movie from 2018, titled Andhadhun. In the beginning of the movie, there is a man playing piano at home. His name is Akash. He is perceived as a blind person by others around him. One day, while crossing the road, he is bumped by a girl named Sophie. Akash falls on the floor as this happens, and to apologize, Sophie takes him into a coffee shop where she buys coffee for him. While the two converse with each other in the coffee shop, Sophie learns that Akash is a piano player, so she takes him to her dad's restaurant where she introduces her to her father, and because Akash plays piano really well and her dad happens to need a pianist, Akash is hired to play piano for the restaurant every night. After Sophie takes Akash home, Akash takes off his contact lenses, and this is the moment the movie reveals to us that Akash is just faking blind. The purpose of him doing this at first is to get inspiration for his music, and as time goes by, he realizes that by faking blind, he can get others to sympathize with him, receiving a lot of benefits. He even gets himself to live in a lower than market price apartment. Thus, he continues to fake blind. Playing piano at the restaurant, he receives a lot of tips due to his excellent skill in playing piano, plus the perception of the people that he is blind. Sophie and Akashi grow closer to each other as they see each other every day, but of course, when they are together, there are some instances where Akash is almost caught for lying to Sophie that he is a blind person. For example, one day, he is staring at the drawing while waiting for Sophie, then suddenly, Sophie comes and asks him what he is looking at. In addition to this, when watching a movie with Sophie, he also precisely gets popcorn from the bag as if he is not blind. Yet, despite all these, through great acting, Sophie didn't feel anything fishy going on. Pramod is a regular customer in the restaurant. Tomorrow is his wedding anniversary with his wife. He plans on giving his wife a little surprise, so he first lies to his wife that he will be going on a business trip tomorrow, and then because he admires Akash's piano skills, he invites Akash to come to his house to play piano for his wife. On the second day, Akash comes to his house on time to play piano, but Pramod's wife, Simi, doesn't know about it, so she asks Akash to come the other day, but Akash says that this is a surprise, that is why she doesn't know. When the two of them are arguing about this, the neighbor next door opens up her door and gives a look at what is going on. Upon seeing this, Simi decided to let Akash inside the house as she doesn't want her neighbor to get suspicious. Coming inside the house, Akash started playing piano passionately. And to his surprise, he sees a dead body lying on the floor. At this moment, Akash freaks out inside. His performance is also affected by it, so to cover it up, he asks Simi to show him the way to the bathroom. Akash was gonna calm himself down in the bathroom, little does he know that there is a man hiding in the bathroom with a gun in his hand. To not get the man suspicious, he keeps faking blind and quickly goes out of the bathroom to keep playing piano. Then later on, the truth is revealed that when Pramod comes back home to give his wife a big surprise, he stumbles upon his wife having an affair with a man. And in the end, the man kills Pramod. Simi sees that Akash is blind, so she asks the man to help her clean up the crime scene. Together, they put Pramod's body in a suitcase and take away his rings and watch. In order to not let Akash get suspicious, using the recordings of Pramod on Simi's phones, she creates an illusion where Pramod comes back into the house to greet his wife and quickly leaves the house for his business matter. Akash is very smart, so he goes along with the show put up by Simi. Later on, he leaves the house, sitting on the roadside for a long time while mentally digesting what he witnessed a while ago. Then he decides to go to the police station to report this murder. To his surprise, when he is about to reveal everything he witnessed to the police officer, he sees the police captain come out. And this person is the man having an affair with Simi. Upon seeing this, he quickly changes his mind and tells the police office that the case he wants to report is the missing of his cats, but the police captain already got suspicious when he sees Akash coming to the station for reporting of cases, so he takes Akash home while doing various tests like suddenly throwing knife at him to see if he is really blind. And because Akash is already very experienced in faking blind, he goes through it smoothly, dismissing the captain's suspicions. On the next day, Pramod's dead body is found in the river. Then as the investigation of his death goes viral in public, his wife, Simi, reveals to the public that on the day Pramod died, he took 10 million rupee with him. The purpose of doing this is to make police believe that the murder is conducted due to money. Just when Simi and the police captain thought that their crimes will not be discovered by anyone, Simi's neighbor tells to one of the police officers present in Pramod's funeral that Simi lied about what really happened because she says she clearly saw a man come to Simi's house at first, then right after, Pramod returned home. And the last person who arrived in the house was Akash. The neighbor concludes the conversation by saying that if she sees the man again, she can identify her for sure. After hearing about it, the police officer reports it to the police captain. At the funeral, Pramod's daughter, Dani, hears Akash playing her dad's favorite piano song. She feels emotional and she asks Akash to come to her house tomorrow to teach her how to play this song. Akash agrees and he goes to her house tomorrow, but just when he is about to enter her house, he happens to witness another murder where Simi pushes her neighbor, the one who claims that Simi is lying about her testimonials, out from the balcony. Upon seeing this scene, Akash has to fake blind and remain calm so as not to make Simi suspicious. Having to witness 2 murder cases in a row, Akash can no longer stay calm as if nothing happened, so he calls Sophie and asks her to come out to discuss about this. However, just when he hangs up the phone, Simi comes to his house with snacks. Akash takes a bite on the snack Simi gives him and goes to the kitchen to make coffee, but when he turns back, he sees Simi wearing a ghost mask in an attempt to scare him. Fortunately, being very experienced in faking blind, Akash didn't get scared. Then what happens next is that Simi puts unknown drugs on Akash's coffee right in front of him to test if he is really blind. Upon seeing this, Akash pretends to knock down the coffee accidentally. Then to Akash's surprise, Simi brings out her gun and points it at him. Akash instinctively raises his hands up as a sign of surrender. By now, Simi already knows that Akash is faking blind. Then because Akash doesn't want to get killed, he tries to explain to Simi that he has no intention of revealing the truth to the police. The fact that he makes false testimonials is sufficient proof to demonstrate this. Though what he says is reasonable, it is not enough to convince a person who committed 2 murders and is now afraid of truth being revealed to the public, so she drugs Akash and uses poison to poison Akash's eyes, thinking to herself that once Akash turns blind, he will pose no threat to her. At the same time, Simi comes to Akash's house and sees Simi open the door with only a towel wrapping around her body. Upon seeing this, Sophie misunderstands what is happening and leaves Akash's house immediately. When Akash wakes up, he mentally breaks down as he realizes that he turns blind for real this time. He calls Sophie for help, but Sophie doesn't want to hear from him anymore, so she hangs up the phone. Right at this moment, the police captain knows about this. He blames Simi for not killing Akash. And on that night, he secretly sneaks into Akash's house to kill him. Fortunately, Akash uses the iron to hit the captain's head and runs for his life on the street. Then he suddenly hits his head on a pole and faints. When he wakes up, he finds 3 people in front of him, looking concerned about what happened to Akash. These 3 persons are Dr. Swami, driver Murli and an old lady selling lottery tickets. Upon hearing their voice, Akash feels safe because he heard their voices before. They are the people from their neighborhood. However, what he doesn't know is that they are not good-hearted people either. The reason why they saved him is only because they want to take his lung and sell it for money. Upon realizing this, Akash gets scared and tries to run for his life, but then the 3 persons press him down on the operation table and give him anesthesia. Right before he falls completely unconscious, he blurts out that he has a way to earn 10 million rupees and if they don't hurt him, he is willing to split the money with them. A few moments later, Akash wakes up and immediately starts checking his body to see if there is any damage. Then the 3 people tell him not to worry because they didn't do anything to Akash. All they want to do now is to learn Akash's way of making 10 million rupee. Only when hearing this that Akash is able to calm down and start discussing with them his plan. When Simi gets home, he sees Akash sitting on the piano table, giving her daughter, Dani, piano lessons. She then asks to send Akash home personally, then she quickly calls the police captain and tells him about it. That is the time the police captain sees another chance to kill Akash, so he tells Simi to lure Akash into the forest and he will be the one to finish him off there. However, to Simi's surprise, she gets tricked by Akash and his companions and is kidnapped by them. Then Akash gives the police captain's wife a call and tell her that her husband is having an affair with Simi and lies to her that he has in his hands evidence of the police captain killing Pramod for his 10 million rupee property and if she doesn't want this evidence to be given to the media, she has to pay him 10 million rupee. Upon hearing this, the wife of the police captain is so irritated at the news of her husband cheating on her to a point that she gets the gun of the police captain and threatens to kill him. The police captain quickly hides in the bathroom while going out of his way to apologize to his wife and beg for his forgiveness. Then all of a sudden, the police captain receives text from his subordinate that Simi is suspected to commit a suicide because her car is found in the river. He tells this to his wife and his wife decides not to fight with him about this and agrees to let her husband go and buy back the evidence of him killing Pramod. However, Simi didn't die. She is taken to Dr. Swami's clinic. Simi wants to use money to turn Dr. Swami, driver Murli, and the old lady to her side, but little does she know that while arguing with Akash, she accidentally blurts out how she and the captain killed Pramod. And everything she said is being recorded by Murli. They tell her that if they can't get that 10 million rupee, they will submit these recordings to the media. On the night, Akash and the other three persons finishes discussing their plan to deal with the police captain. The next day, the old lady calls the police captain and tells him where to go. However, when they are about to move to the meeting place with the police captain, the old lady and Murli suddenly tie up Akash in a wheelchair. The purpose of them doing this is because they only want to keep the 10 million rupee to themselves. Simi makes fun of Akash for being betrayed by his companions. Akash replies back saying that she shouldn't be so happy now because she is also in a dangerous position. By now, the police captain is already thinking that she is a threat to him because only her knows everything about the murder the captain committed. So Akash is pretty sure that it is only a matter of time until he gets rid of Simi. Upon hearing this, Simi thinks to herself that Akash is right, so she proposes to Akash that they should work together to get themselves out of this place. At the same time, the police captain comes to an empty building to purchase the evidence. After the driver Murli gets the money, the cunning police captain suddenly shows up and shoots him in the neck. Right after the police captain enters the elevator, the old lady quickly cuts off the elevator power and traps him inside. The police captain tries to escape by shooting at the elevator door, however, he injures himself as the bullet bounces back and hits him. The old lady takes Murli to the hospital as quickly as possible. Little does she know that the bag that the police captain claims to have 10 million rupee is only filled with white paper. Upon seeing this, the old lady breaks down, thinking to herself that they go through all these troubles only to find themselves getting nothing in return. In the meantime, Akash agrees to work with each other. Then Simi helps him to unloose the rope tied around Akash's hands and legs, but Akash can't see the exit door, so he removes Simi's eye blind. Then Simi intentionally misleads Akash by telling him the wrong direction to go while finding a surgical knife to cut the rope on her hands and legs. After breaking free, Simi immediately attacks and knocks Akash down on the ground. Then all of a sudden, Dr. Swami enters the room and tries to restrain Simi, but then Simi uses the knife to stab Dr. Swami in the chest. Just when Dr. Swami is about to be killed, Akash comes and restrains Simi. And together with the help of Dr. Swami, they manage to knock Simi out. The doctor puts Simi in the back of his car with the intention of selling her liver because through blood test, her blood type is the rare type BRH negative blood. There is a buyer willing to spend $1 million just to buy a liver with this specific blood type. Then the doctor tells Akash that because he saved his life, he is willing to give a portion of his earnings so he can use the money to buy corneas to regain his eyesight. 2 years later, Sophie sees Akash's concert poster in Europe. Then the two have a reunion. Then Akash starts to talk about what happened to him 2 years ago. Back then, Akash didn't want to listen to the doctor and sell Simi's liver. He keeps on persuading the doctor to simply give Simi to the police and let them decide the punishment for Simi. While arguing on this issue, the doctor hears noises coming from his car trunk, so he stops the car and walks to the back with the intention of injecting more drugs into Simi in order to put her to sleep. However, the doctor gets killed by Simi. Akash doesn't know that the person getting into the car is Simi, so he continues to plead to spare Simi. And Simi, while listening to this, can't bring herself to kill him, so she lets Akash out of the car. Then all of a sudden, she changes her mind, turns around the car, and drives toward Akash at full speed. Right before the car hits Akash, there is a rabbit suddenly jumping out and hitting the windshield. Simi loses her sight for a second and turns the wheel so hard to a point that the car flips around and hits hard on the ground. Simi also dies in this accident. After learning about everything that has happened to Akash 2 years ago, Sophie tells him that he should have just traded Simi's life for money. Upon hearing this, Akash freezes for a while. After departing with Sophie, Akash walks on the street. Right in front of him, there is a steel can. Akash precisely hit the can to the side, thinking to himself that had he known that Sophie's reaction would be like this, he wouldn't have gone out of his way to make lies. Truth to be told, what really happened 2 years ago is that both of them, Akash and the doctor, did sell Simi's liver for money, and Akash managed to use the money to buy corneas for his eyes. The purpose of him lying in the end is just to get Sophie to sympathize with him. To be honest, had Sophie listened more carefully with the story, he would have noticed the flaw in the story. 2 years ago, Akash was blind, so how can he tell that there is a rabbit hitting the windshield of Simi's car? And with that being said, the movie ends. Make sure to subscribe, turn on the notification to watch more videos like this.